If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about Future's new album, I Never Liked You, which is dropping, obviously, tomorrow on April 29th. And I've made a lot of videos on this. Go check out those two videos I dropped yesterday. First of all, the one talking about the track list, because that was the big news we got yesterday, and then also the one that, you know, as the title, Everything We Know About the Record, because that goes over literally everything we know about this thing. So those are two very important videos for every fan trying to get caught up on what this album has to bring and all the information we know about it. So make sure you go check out those two videos. But today I specifically wanted to focus on what we can actually expect from the stuff we don't know about yet, and also what I personally expect from this new record. So let's jump straight into this. Of course, expectations, as I always say, can always be based on certain things, for example singles or also track lists or anything like that. So let's go over which singles we have. Actually, this is kind of weird for this record because looking at the track list, we didn't actually get a single for this, but we do have Worst Day, for example. It's not going to be on the record, but it was dropped before the record dropped in February. You know, that Valentine's song track, and on there we can kind of tell that Future is still embracing the old Future sound, the one that made him the Future he is today, but with like a polished touch. I really enjoyed that record. I thought it was the classic Future we all love, but like in a perfected way. So I really enjoyed that. So that's likely also what we're gonna hear on this new record. But then also we got that Hold That Heat single with Travis Scott and Southside, on which he just went Future hams again. So those two singles are the ones, the tracks that we did get. And we also got a snippet of the track Keep It Burnin' with Kanye, which was before that titled A City on Fire, which I really enjoyed. I thought that snippet was really good, and that kind of has me hopeful. You know, tracks like this, those legendary instrumentals with Kanye on them, those are usually pretty dope, and those point towards the album that is not just surface level scratching, but rather can be something like timeless in a way. But I think the most important piece of information on this, now going over, you know, now that we've done the singles, is definitely the track list, because the track list reveals, you know, the features and also what the titles may bring for this record. And I went over that in detail in the video yesterday. As I said, make sure you go check that out. Today, I just want to interpret what this means. So as I said, Worst Day and Hold That Heat are not on here, so we haven't actually heard a single one of these tracks that are on here. We have two Drake features, so we can expect those to be like very big songs later on commercially as well. We have the Keep It Burning with Kanye West, obviously, so those tracks are the ones that I have the most hope for. You know, those tracks are the ones that I hope that Future can tap into, like wanting to create something that is going to be more than just a, you know, just a throwaway single. As always, I'm hoping for some nice deep cuts, you know, on High Off Life, for example. Too Comfortable was one of my favorite tracks on there, and that was not a song that did like incredibly well. It was rather one of those single songs with no feature that you just kind of have to listen to the whole album to get that song, and I really enjoy those the most also when it comes to Future. So I'm looking for some of those, maybe on tracks like The Way Things Go and Holy Ghost, something like that, you know. Those are the tracks that I wanna look out for. It seems like we're getting a pretty good mix of just like, we have some like Love You Better that could be like a slower song, like a love song, and then we have the Puffin' on Zooties, you know, those type of tracks that probably just go a little bit harder. So that duality is still there for Future, so I don't think this will differ a lot from stuff he's done in the past, kind of be in the same lane again. But, you know, tracks like For a Nut with Gunna and Young Thug, or like Puffin' on Zooties, titles like that, I don't know. Of course, that is what Future's always done, and that is what the fans are expecting, and I'm not blaming him for doing this. But I'm just saying, I think Future, especially at this point in his career, having dropped so many records and so many projects, I would have loved for him to tap into some wanting to create like a piece of art that is a little bit more timeless than just For a Nut and Puffin' on Zooties. I don't know, that's just how I feel. So I, you know, that I kind of have I'm torn between these Keep It Burnin' with Kanye West, which seems like a grand, big, epic song, or the, you know, the Drake one, I'm On one especially also, and then it's like For a Nut with Gunna and Young Thug. Like, how is that gonna work? Like, you have that great Kanye track, and then a track called Foreign Nut. It just seems like he tried to do something, tried to be like, okay, I can create these big masterpieces as well, but then it's just like, okay, we just got a beat and now we're doing something on it with the Foreign Nut track. I don't know. Of course, we haven't heard the album yet. We can't actually say anything about this. Maybe this Foreign Nut track is the best one on here. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I'm just saying that I don't know, I kind of expected this to be a bit more focused, a bit more, the track list not just being one of those playlist type of albums again that I always, talk about and complain about a little bit. And I thought that this time around Future would tap into that as well. Anyway, we also, of course, got the album cover. It's looking pretty cool. He's tapping into a lot of retro stuff on here, old Rolls Royce. He had the GQ cover shoot that also, influenced a lot of the art for this record. So I think that looks pretty cool. And I'm excited, I'm just excited how that's going to fit into the album, because I think the album cover looks really sharp and kind of like a modern retro style, so I really like that. And also the title, I Never Liked You, kind of, I talked about this in another video as well, but it could just be the petty version of him just saying like to his exes or whatever, woman, like, I never liked you anyway, and kind of going off of that. Or it could be something deeper, maybe talking about his relationship with hip-hop or something like that. But I guess, I don't know, the track list kind of made me doubt that is actually what he's going for. So I think all in all, this will be another solid Future album. I'm hoping it's better than High Off Life and that Lil Uzi tape, because I didn't like either of those very much, even though High Off Life was a bit better. But I think all in all, this will just be another solid Future record that fans, kind of pick their favorite songs off of, and that everybody is kind of satisfied with, but nothing that will be like, it is still prevalent and still relevant in 10 years, just like High Off Life is not relevant anymore today, 2 years after it released. So that's kind of my worry with this. I thought at this point in his career, him being 36 now as well, maybe he wanted to tap into some potential he hasn't tapped into yet, wanting to create something like bigger. At least those were my expectations and my wishes, but I guess, that didn't come true. Bit sad about that, but as I said, we haven't heard the album yet. Maybe it is. I'm just saying based off of what we know about this and based on what I expect from this and what we can expect from this. So that's, kind of my take on this. But still, I'm very excited for this. Of course, tomorrow is going to be a great day. Future, I Never Liked You. We got, as I said, go check out those videos. We got the release date, the cover, the title, the track list, the features, some snippets for the singles, so it's looking pretty solid so far, and I'm really hyped. I'm really hyped about this. Really looking forward to listening to this tomorrow when it drops. So yeah, that's my take on this. Now I want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for this? What are your expectations? Are you expecting, as I said, more of like a basic Future album that is not too deep, or him tapping into something that he hasn't done before? What features or tracks are you most excited for, and which ones kind of have you worried a little bit? All of that, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and you'll take care.